一刷根39大林邦呀，藤蔓当当啊巴扎呀扎呀。
Thank you so much. Thanks to all of you for being here. And I would like to say thanks to, as well, permaculture as a movement. Because I am not, I haven't been, my lab was different before. I was in another kind of work environment with people who didn't know about permaculture. I didn't know about permaculture. And I have found in permaculture a family, a huge family, and a way of working that I couldn't believe it was possible. I have lovely colleagues, I work with lovely people, and I sometimes feel that people within the movement kind of give this for granted, and you have so much. And I was part of that system previously, and I can see the difference. I just feel so lucky to be here. So lucky for people in Taiwan for opening your house, your country to permaculture, and just really privileged to be here with all of you and sharing. I have met wonderful people, and I kind of feel after seeing all the presentations during the conference and this week and the conference, Morex conference, Morex talk, yeah, it's just, I just feel tiny. It's intimidating. So thank you for that. I would like to as well say on behalf of the Permaculture Association Britain, they are usually here. I think it's the first international permaculture event. Andy Goldring, who is the director of the charity, is not here. And he's sending the best energy for this event, for everyone here. He's thinking about us. He's not present, but he is, his heart is here, and he's wishing the best and wishing the best for us to connect and find collaborations here. I am an observer more than anything. I am a researcher, I am a student. I am coming from Colombia. It was the country where I was born, and my communities there, that's Colombia. So yeah, that's the part of the world where I'm coming from. Very different to the UK where I live and where I work. So I have a different vision. And that's the UK. So quite different there, but I have been, well, in different places, working with indigenous people in Colombia as well, had the opportunity, and as well very connected to nature. My parents and my grandparents were working the land. I was part of that generation where we were told you cannot work the land, and you need to go to an office and work really hard to get a fancy job, and I did follow all the rules, and yeah, that's another story. So let's start. This is how I see permaculture from where I am from, as a researcher, as a learner of the permaculture movement. So many nodes I'm finding all of them all the time. Sometimes they are flashing, meaning they are there, but perhaps they don't have the resources to move, and they might take a pause for a year, 2 years, but they are there. And there are little clusters. So I selected this video, and it's just really short, to show that there are little clusters moving, and the information is moving in those clusters. And something that I would add to this is that there are also other lines jumping from continent to continent, sending information, sharing knowledge. Morag is a perfect example of that. She's traveling all around the world, learning, sharing, and that's is not only Morag. There are many people doing that job, and it's wonderful. So I am the international coordinator. I started to work with the charity around June last year, and I've been the task was very clear. The charity had been receiving requests from the international community. People with different backgrounds, people at different stages in the journey of permaculture, asking for information, asking for contacts, asking for connections. And my role is to try to make the resources that are available within the permaculture movement visible to them, and as well make those connections. So I will explain a bit more later. And this is what I'm going to cover here, is our work, just a tiny bit, to give an idea about the Permaculture Association, what we do, my colleagues, and what we offer in terms of the international network and the conversations we are having with international communities. The second point would be some insights from conversations I'm having with those leaders or those individuals who are at different stages in permaculture. I will share with you the key points that they are sharing with me. The third point is the International Permaculture Survey. I'm not going to explain anything now. I will detail more that later. Challenges and barriers within the permaculture movement, and opportunities and trends, and what's next. So our work in the UK, and to say our work is too much, I would say my colleagues' work, because they are the ones who are working in the UK, and there is a team for education. They are creating courses on permaculture, different type of courses, introduction for permaculture. There is a really strong diploma system, and the charity has been alive, active for 40 years. And within the permaculture, I have learned now that is one of the strengths of the charity. There are many permaculture organizations that might not be able to continue active for so many years. The charity has been smaller at some points, and it has expanded, but in some points. But yeah, it changes year through year. There are actually today over 200 to 1,000 members of the charity. And thanks to them is that the charity can continue developing documents, materials, courses for promoting permaculture and as well teach permaculture in the UK. So I have to say that clearly it's been from the beginning very focused on the UK. There are many resources available to anyone around the planet, but sometimes there might be, for some communities across other countries, a bit too focused on the UK. There are 30 diploma tutors. It's a network of them that are part of the diploma system. And then there are 151 land centers. These are permaculture demonstration centers around the UK. In terms of the international offer, and that what is my role, we have a strong interest in partnerships with organizations in other countries who might be delivering projects to support those ones who are contacting us. And I will explain more about the profiles of people who are those profiles that I will describe them with more details. The capacity and the insights. So I have time to kind of research, it's kind of giving a step back and see the permaculture movement as a whole. And that's the capacity that at this time we can offer. It's a project that is going to finish next year, so we are already starting to look into funding to see if we can continue. Hopefully, yes, and hopefully in a year's time, I can say to you, I will be there supporting and continue with these activities that I'm about to share with you. We are interested in supporting practical solutions that can be scaled up and to the solutions that would somehow remove barriers that permaculture is facing. We also like to do some research projects and help organizations and grassroots projects and individuals to identify the impact they are having in communities, because that's the main way to inspire others, to tell them this. As Monica said, if we all share what we are doing, those amazing projects you are delivering, those are the impact. Well, that's the impact that we can share and we can use to inspire other communities in other parts of the world. Not necessarily that they are going to copy the solution, but they can see it's possible a solution through permaculture. So we are also interested in highlighting permaculture, the impactful permaculture projects that are there. So there are different routes for that. So we put at the service of everyone the channels of the charity. So there are newsletters that go. There are three newsletters. There is Permaculture Community Hub, which is a digital network that is growing. At the moment we have around 1,000 learners. That is the main platform that the Permaculture Association is using to teach permaculture. And the members of the Permaculture Association have access to that platform, not only to take courses, but as well to organize their own courses. So other people, through the members, can join this platform. Joining the platform is free. So if you would like to know about this platform, let me know. I can share the link with you. These are some of the communities, pictures from the communities we have conversations with. And one of the things was we are getting so many requests. So what should we do? How do we handle this? So my role has been a lot on part of the time is trying to categorize and put some order to those requests, not only to how we are going to answer them, but as well to understand who is contacting us, what are the main topics that they are interested, where they are coming from. So we are documenting this process, and there are some statistics, and now we can say how many requests we receive and what information we are sharing with them. More pictures. So I have had conversations with community projects, individuals, grassroots projects in South America, in Africa, in Asia, in Europe. So from those conversations, the first question is who is connecting with us. So it's important to say, I am not reaching them, they are reaching the Permaculture Association. So who are they? Trying to put them in categories, I selected these four categories. The first one, people interested in learning about permaculture. The second group is students. They are already in a course, permaculture course. It could be a formal permaculture course, or it could be very informal. They watch videos, or they found guide, or they have a mentor, or they have access to some materials, and they are learning. And that's the second one. The third one is the educator or the practitioner. They have more experience, they have the knowledge, they have done some qualifications, they have probably attended a national event or a regional event, permaculture event, and they have some connections. And the last one is the grassroots project and the organizations. And these organizations come in different colors, and to put them in just one category probably is not correct, just because they are completely different, and the realities in each country are quite different as well. So we can find there an organization that was set up a week before they contact us, and then through a conversation with them, and that's the first thing I do is to have every time I receive a request, I have a conversation with them. It could be over the phone, WhatsApp, or it could be a video call. So it's through that conversation and asking questions and trying to understand where they are coming from, where are they, what type of information they need. Is that I realize a project that may be, or an organization that maybe contact us by email, and I had a first idea that, oh wow, they have done so much, because sometimes they can send even a proposal, very detailed with a budget, and they want to create a permaculture garden or a permaculture classroom for the community. And the first idea I get is, oh, they seem to be quite strong. And then through a conversation, I realized they set up they registered the organization the week before. And this is probably an idea, very well constructed idea, but they don't have any experience. And if I ask them, do you have any knowledge of permaculture? The answer usually is no. If I ask them, do you have access to any network? Do you know in your country whether there is a permaculture group who can support you? Usually the answer is no. So how did you learn about permaculture? Oh, just saw Facebook last week. And I thought permaculture was good, and I had this idea, and I think permaculture is the solution. So to be there, actually, it would be someone interested in learning permaculture, because they don't have the experience. They need first the knowledge. They need first to be able to understand a bit more of permaculture, to be able to have a permaculture classroom. So there is some work to do, and at that point the conversation can last up to 6 months. Just emails going, we have going backwards and having this conversation with them all the time. And it's a really lovely process, because someone who at the beginning probably is really excited about doing this permaculture project, they realize with time that they are not prepared, that they are not ready for that process. But that is possible, and that the resources are there, but there is a process to follow. Insights, in terms of why do they contact us? They are contacting us because they need connections. That's one of the things that comes through those conversations, and sometimes it's very clear in the email. And it is as well a bit in terms of connections. It could be, I just wanted to connect with the Permaculture Association. I just wanted to let you know I'm here. I wanted to, if it's a practitioner, just to introduce myself and to make that link. It could be just as simple as that. That connection could be, I just need to talk with someone, please listen to me. And it's not to complain, it's not to ask for money sometimes, no. It's just to have that connection. It's to know that there is someone in another part of the world who is able to listen actively to what they have to share. I'm going to explain this later, or maybe I can explain it now, but there is a sense for certain, especially within practitioners, they feel isolated, and that is because they are very committed. If someone in permaculture is doing permaculture, they are truly committed. It's not easy. They really live the ethos, the ethics of permaculture. And in this world we live in, there is, sometimes you need to play the game. And playing the game means, if a practitioner has some clients, these clients are going to ask for a fancy permaculture garden. And that's not what it is about permaculture. It's not a fancy garden. It goes beyond that. It is about the community. It's about the space. It's about how you use the space. It's about the relationships between people. And some clients in some parts of the world, they are not interested in that. They are interested in a very fancy, could be lots of money for the person, for the practitioner, could be, but because it's going against their principles, they feel alone, and I don't know if you were in permaculture, I don't know if you were coming from a different path of life, you would understand. I was in that situation where I was kind of doing things that they were against my principles, my true values, and I just felt this is not correct, and that was not good for my well-being. And I think that is happening with some practitioners within permaculture as well, just because there are clients that are not interested really in permaculture. The second, connections, the third point that I wanted to make with connections is it could be that those connections, they don't realize they want a connection, they just come to me and say, hello, I have this project, and then it's through the conversation that I realize they actually need a connection in the country where they are, or a connection with someone who is an expert in the topic they are working on or the project they are working on. So that's another type of connection. The second is funding, and that comes in different ways as well. So it could be crowdfunding. So sometimes they want us to create a crowdfunding page for them to collect money. So the money would go through the association and then we give them the money. We don't do that, unfortunately, because we wouldn't be able, we don't have the capacity to work with different groups in that way. We offer, and there are other types, that's the second type of funding they request, is be our fiscal host. And there is a process to be a fiscal host with the Permaculture Association. So if we offer that option, if they are happy to go through that path, and we have some organizations in other countries who we are serving as fiscal hosts. So basically, if they apply for funding, the Permaculture Association receives the money, and then they give the money to the organization. And that happens when those organizations do not have the infrastructure, financial infrastructure, or the team to manage payments. So the Permaculture Association would do that for them. There is a fee involved on that. And the third one is basically, do you have money that you can give me directly? We don't do that, but we do have a list of funding opportunities that we share with everyone. And that list is quite huge and is updated every week, and is for projects that have to do with permaculture, sustainability, regenerative agriculture, social issues, addressing social issues. So there is some information that we can share with them, and it's more signposting. Sharing information is the third topic why they contact us. So it could be, I have an event for X community, could you help me to share that? Yes, we can do. We have a website that many people across the world are looking at, so we are happy to put an event on that. And there are other networks that we as well ask for help to share this information. I don't know if anyone knows here about the Collab, International Collab. The International Collab is a digital network, and they share all sorts of information, courses, opportunities, job opportunities for people working in permaculture, opportunities for new projects, and it's happening all over the world, in every part of the world. So it's a virtual community. The only thing they ask is to be a member, and to be a member is free as well. So anyone can join that platform. And there are really good discussions happening there, really good. There is actually Permaculture in Africa group, which I'm really happy to be part of. And the idea is how to use this platform So people who are doing permaculture in Africa as well get access to this platform and understand how it works, because it's a bit sometimes too much information. The last one is volunteers. So people ask for, can I volunteer for the Permaculture Association, or can I volunteer for a permaculture project in this place where I am based? So that's another offer, and that is really good. That is really good when people as well want to give. Where are they based? They are calling us or contacting us, and by the way, this comes through emails, social media, sometimes WhatsApps, and sometimes through another colleague or person who knows that I am answering questions for the international community. So the main group is from Africa. So those are the requests that we are receiving. The second one is South America, then Europe, then Asia, then Central America, North America, and Oceania. If we put together Africa plus South America plus Central America, which is, and Asia, which is the global South, that comes to 80% of the requests coming from the global South. So it's very clear, the message is people in the global South who are contacting us, and it makes sense. Makes sense. And the reason why Europe, I think that the reason why Europe has that percentage that is quite similar to South America is because we are close to Europe. We have really good relationships with our organizations in Europe, so the message has been spread, and they know that we are there, so they are contacting us. And they are contacting us as well. I forgot to mention the Permaculture Community Hub is another platform that they are contacting us through. If I have to summarize all the requests we receive, these are the key topics. So, one, there is a barrier with communication. There are lots of resources out there. The web is full of permaculture resources. Unfortunately, the resources are available in limited number of languages, mainly in English. So, finding resources that are not only in the right language for a specific community, but as well that are relevant and they talk about landscapes that are related to them. It's not that they don't exist, it's just that it's hard to find them on the internet. It's really hard. They might be there. The definition of permaculture, that's another big topic. So when we talk about permaculture with these communities, they say things like permaculture to us really, we are approaching you to ask for help, but permaculture really is an English word. It doesn't translate to our language. So they would have their own translations, but there is not just one common translation. So that's another thing. And what it means, what does it mean? So for some people it's the connection with their ancestors and that knowledge. For some others is about being sustainable and do things in a friendly way with the environment and with people. So there are lots of issues around translating the word permaculture and what it means for different communities. The second point is access to information. As I mentioned, there is lots of information, but how to access it is another point. How to find it, how to know what I am finding is right, or is correct, or is approved, or is it works for me. How to know that if I'm just learning permaculture. And it's not only finding that information in the right language, but as well, knowing that it's correct, knowing that it works. And then access to land. In some places, access to land is a problem. They might not have even a window sill. They might live in a really high building with nothing. So land is an issue, and it's not only. But we have said, and we have heard all that permaculture is not only about growing food, but it's that connection with nature is important. And some people do not have that option. They don't know how to access it. There is a lack of recognition in mainstream systems. So yes, that's something that you probably know. I'm not going to explain that, but yes, permaculture is not recognized. And on the other side, there is a group of people, and I'm just sharing with you what they are telling me. And I know there are some people who might be against this. I need standards. To have a standard of permaculture, what it means to have, what are the key points that a permaculture project should have. And this is coming through conversations with practitioners. And the main reason is because they are finding that they are doing permaculture with their communities, and then suddenly they see that someone who doesn't have the experience, who doesn't have the training, who is just putting a page, crowdfunding page, saying that they have a permaculture project, they get funded. There's no problem that they get funded. The problem comes when they disappear. And what they said they were going to do in the name of permaculture doesn't happen. And no one who is giving money likes to know that what they supported didn't happen. So that would affect, and it is affecting, the permaculture movement. And that is one of the aspects that practitioners have mentioned. There is limited resources and capacity building. So it's not only about learning how to do permaculture, it's as well how to run an organization. What are the skills? Knowing how to do payments, knowing how to organize people, knowing how to use internet, how to find information, how to navigate the web, how to write a proposal. So those type of things are a resource. They don't have the resources to do that, and yeah, just limited. And that is linked to measuring impact. And then if we don't measure impact, we won't have funding. And then these groups are just kind of, we don't know what to do. We need resources. We need money. And then I connect that with the next point, and there is as well comment that is about shifting the perceptions in terms of funding and support, and that can come in different ways. It's not only about giving money to an organization, but it maybe is about sharing the knowledge with those organizations and giving them the tools to be able to continue with their projects. The ethics, the last one, the ethics, the permaculture ethics versus clients or systems seeking superficial solutions. So this was the point that I mentioned before, and that is just doing permaculture for someone who doesn't believe in permaculture, and that is hard. If you don't mind, you can do it. But if someone who is truly committed to permaculture, that is affecting the well-being. So the second part, so that was in terms of the conversations we have with people who are contacting us. The second part has time, Andrew. Are we okay? Okay. So the International Permaculture Survey. So in this role, there is lots of research, as I said. So I thought, what if we create a permaculture international survey? So it's going to be easier for us to understand who is there, what are they doing, what are they providing, what is happening. And that is the survey. So it's out there. It's in English, it's in French, and it's in Spanish at the moment. And we've got some information. I wouldn't say it's global yet, because, and that's one of the reasons I am here, We don't have enough responses from Asia. So I'm hoping after this talk, some of you who are representing Asia or are related to a project in Asia would go to the link. I'm happy to send that through WhatsApp, but I'm going to share as well the QR code. Would help me to complete the survey and share your views. And you can answer, most of the questions are optional. So if there is a question that you feel like, and there are some questions, I can tell you, there are some questions that you feel like, I don't want to answer that, just don't answer it. But yeah, it would be good to know your views. The idea of this permaculture survey is to understand a bit more about the movement, and for my role to know who is there and what networks are available. So when someone, for example in Asia, comes to me or comes to the Permaculture Association, we can just redirect it. There's no better support that they can receive than the support from the locals. So that is why, and we will be sharing the results of this survey for everyone in the world to use. And there will be new versions available soon on Chinese, Hindi, Arabic, Portuguese, Bengali, and Russian. If there is any person here who thinks that another language should be added, just let me know. I think I'm going to try to find as well Japanese translate. Korean, yes. So yes, just to clarify, the following information is based on people's views. It's collected it has been collected between June and November 2024, and we need to do more research and we need to complete the picture. So this is partial. We hope we can give a more accurate picture in the future. So we have had so far 143 responses, 94 countries have participated, 99 individuals have answered the survey, 20 organizations and networks have answered that survey, and 24 local groups. So at the beginning of the survey, you will be asked to select one of these profiles to be able to answer the question, the questionnaire in 8 languages at the moment. The countries represented so far are 39, and the countries that send their responses and are active in permaculture are 82. So this is a bit strange, I know. So what happened was that there is a question where we ask people, tell us where you are coming from. If they can say Colombia. Okay, the next question is, do you work or support permaculture projects in other countries? And they say yes, and we ask which countries. So that's why it's 82. So that's the number, 82 countries that have been involved in permaculture through the 39 that are first. I hope that's clear. Okay. Top 3 countries participating per category. So the categories I'm going to talk about are organizations, networks, first one, the second one, local groups, and the third one, individuals. And please, these are participating countries. I'm not saying that the USA has more organizations in permaculture. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying is they have been the first one, and there are more organizations from the US answering so far. That might change in the future. The second one is Spain, and the third one is Zambia in Africa. In terms of local groups, we have the UK, Netherlands, and Italy. Individuals, we have again the UK, Spain, and Australia. Interesting, we don't have yet organizations or local groups participating from Australia. It's been just individuals. We asked them about challenges and barriers in permaculture, and the first question was, how do you rate the level of support for permaculture available in your country? That was the question. And if we see first the answers for organizations, organizations in North America, they feel that the support is quite good. The scale goes from 0 to inadequate to 5, excellent, and they're rated as 4. So it's quite good based on people who have answered so far. Then we have, if we continue with that specific, with North America, for the local groups, you can see it's lower, and then individuals perceive that that support is lower. The next one would be, let's have a look at organizations in Asia. And as well, we can see in Europe, they say it's more or less 3. The rate, the level of support that they see in terms of organizations, and local groups is a bit lower, it's 2 local groups in Asia and Europe, and then individuals, they see that individuals, they say that it's lower. And I would tend to say that probably it's individuals who have probably more, well, I would expect from here, they probably feel that they receive less support, but it's good to see what the organizations have to say, because probably the support goes through organizations and then go through local groups or individuals. So we asked the top challenges, and we phrased this as lack of, and there was a long list of things that could be lacking in terms of permaculture. And then we have the 3 different categories again. So we have organizations, and we have the community groups, and then we have the individuals. It's interesting to see in North America impact measurement tools. So there's a lack of them. And it's the same that local groups are identifying, and it's the same that individuals are identifying, then funding, and then collaborative spirit. In Central and South America, is again impact. They don't know, they don't have the tools to measure impact. So if we don't measure impact, how are we going to access funding? Because these organizations who are sponsoring projects like permaculture and projects that can support or can be a solution for climate, for the issues that we are facing, including climate change, they are asking for impact, how you are supporting the community, and what is your experience. So that is key. And then funding, and then training, and well, there are other challenges they see. What happens then in Europe and Africa? In Europe, the consensus so far, based on the responses we have received so far, is recognition, lack of recognition, lack of funding, and then in Africa is funding and recognition. It's interesting that in Africa, the number of key 3 topics per group or per category is spread, so they kind of selected most of them. Training, partners, technology, materials in the local language or local languages, because there are several languages, mentorship, and experience from native, availability of native teachers. And then Asia and Oceania. Asia, they agree, impact, not being able to have tools to measure impact, and funding. And then in Oceania, we don't have no responses yet. Well, not from groups, not from organizations, but individuals. They identify recognition, access to land, and again, access to tools to measure impact is recognized as well there. We also asked, gave them a list of ways or aspects that they would like, that some organizations might like to develop in the future, and as well we ask if they would like to collaborate in some of those areas. And the red ones, let's start with the ones that they are interested in. And then this is a selection, and this is because the majority of the responses are pointing at these topics. So the first one is in Asia. They are interested in developing peer-to-peer learning exchanges. In Europe, they are interested in online resources in local languages in Europe. In Africa, they are interested in experience newcomer mentorship. And in South America, they would like to offer funding for national and local initiatives doing permaculture. They would like to have that possibility. In terms of collaborations that they are open to explore with other continents, with other organizations, are in North America, national, region, or local conference and networking events. In South America and Africa, online events, webinars, workshops, forums, and discussions. And that's it so far. Hopefully we will get more information in the next round. And this is a tricky question that I wasn't sure when we were creating the survey. Okay. When we were creating the survey, I wasn't sure about this question. It's just a bit too risky, and I didn't know how people would understand it. But I think based on the results, probably it went well. We asked how many people are part of your organization or local group, and we gave them some. No, there are no options. It's an open question. So they put between 1 and 10, and this is local groups. So yellow is the response from local groups, and green is the response from organizations. So most of them, they agree that their organization or the local group is between 1 and 10, or maybe between 11 and 30, and that makes sense. Permaculture organizations are not really big. And that doesn't include members, and that includes staff and very committed volunteers. This is interesting. I don't know, I do know, because I saw the response. But yes, an organization that big, probably most of them volunteers. How many people do practitioners, local groups, and organizations reach overall? So, and these here, they would include members. So yes, the first category is between 1 and 500, and the response comes from individuals. It's a bit lower for local groups and a bit lower for organizations in that category. That's how that picture looks so far. We also asked whether these figures, they were given them because they were experienced in the topic, or if they have access to actual surveys. Most of them, 96%, they said that it's based on their knowledge and experience. How many people are involved and how many people are benefited? Involved, we asked them to think about people who are leading permaculture projects and are linked to you. So they are delivering more than indirectly benefited. So those are the responses. Interested between 1 and 5,000, the first one, and then you can see how it decreases as the ranges increase. So we will continue the work that we are doing, supporting these organizations and groups, making sure there are proven impacts that we can share with everyone and that will help them to continue what they are doing. We are interested in strengthening networks and work together, so please do ask me if you would like to be part of a partnership. The UK is actually looking for partners to deliver projects in the future. I think the time is finished. A few questions, and these are questions just for everyone to think about the future of permaculture. How do you imagine it?
Thank you, Maria.
You're welcome.
Throughout the survey, you see Asian part we still lack a survey. And since the IPC is in Taiwan, we are right in Asia. So why don't we give a lot of survey to this organization? Yeah, it's over there.
Isabella.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the link to the survey, and this is the link to the Permaculture Association. On the website of the Permaculture Association, there is a blog, and in the blog we have been sharing stories from conversations we have had with community groups and individuals who have come to us and asked for help. If there is a project, a local project here, or a representative of anyone who is locally supporting a community, please contact me. I would be happy to include the case study and the impact you are doing with a wider community. So happy to do that.
一刷可